A while back, we had an idea. We asked our patrons on our Discord if they'd help us build a Community Deathwatch army. A model here or there painted and built by patrons, and we got a ton of replies, and over the last couple years, we've showcased them in a series of games. However, time marches on, and we asked our patrons and subscribers again if anyone would be interested in adding to the community army. And do you know what we got? We got humbled. The absolutely amazing response we got from you, our subscribers and patrons, has absolutely and completely overwhelmed us. This game literally doesn't happen without you, so thank you and enjoy. This is 40K in 40 Minutes Community Battle! Greetings 40K fans, your host JT McDowell here, and welcome to this Community Deathwatch versus Aeldari battle that, quite frankly, wouldn't happen without you, our patrons. Tack will be playing our Community Deathwatch army today with some fantastic conversions and models all painted by you, our fans, and Nick will be piloting the Aeldar, painted by our very own patron, DrRhino. I'm overwhelmed with how pretty these armies are. Let's take a look at them.
Hi, my name is Tack.
He's got a Librarian in Terminator armor, a Primaris Chaplain on a bike, and a Watchmaster as his Warlord. He has a Proteus kill team, another Proteus kill team, and another Proteus kill team. The difference between the teams is minor at best. Tack also has an Ironclad Dreadnought, a Relic Contemptor Dreadnought, an Inceptor squad, and an Eliminator squad. For backup, he's got the Gladiator Reaper. Every single one of these models has been painted by you, our patrons and subscribers, so once again, we thank you for this beautiful Deathwatch army. There's even a Tau-Nick Dreadnought!
The Deathwatch are incredibly complex. They're for someone that really wants to specialize and build out their list in a very particular way. This list that I've brought today is about a lot of utility, it's about a lot of speed, and it's a lot of movement. The Aeldar are really good at that, so I'm going to try to match them at their own game.
I never thought I'd be playing Aeldar. It was one of those armies that I always hated playing against because of how frustrating they were to play against. And I've never been able to beat them. So I thought, if I can't beat them, might as well try joining them.
Nick is playing a beautiful Aeldar army, which is 90% painted by Matt, DrRhino himself. Absolutely gorgeous. The scroll work on these are stunning. Nick has added a couple of units to it himself here. Let's see how they play out for him today. He's brought the Avatar of Cain, Prince Uriel, and a Spirit Seer. He's got some squads of Corsair Void Reavers, Wraith Blades, Ghost Axe and Force Shield, D-Scythe Wraithguard, those are the Kili Flamers, some Shining Spears, a Wraith Lord, and a second Wraith Lord. Not a lot of models comparatively.
The hardest thing I'm gonna face is being essentially overwhelmed and outnumbered. I'm gonna have to use board control just right.
Today's mission is priority targets. In the second, third, fourth, and fifth battle rounds, at the end of each player's command phase, the player whose turn it is will score 5 victory points for holding one objective and 5 victory points for holding more objectives than their opponent. However, at the end of the game, each player will score an additional 5 victory points for each marker they control to a maximum of 20 and a maximum of 45 per game on primary.
These are custom objectives that we got done in collaboration with CreatureCaster, so you can actually buy your own set of play-on objective markers. Isn't that cool? The last time I played Aeldar, one mistake I really made was making my troops too exposed. So this time for deployment, I've got to make sure I hide my troops well enough that they won't be shot off first turn.
Deployment phase, and Tack has really spread to make sure that he tries to maximize the distance between his units so that Nick can't just gang up and kill his castle. Typically, Tack tends to play more of a Ultramarine castle style game, but you can't do that with Deathwatch. He needs to take advantage of his movement and advantage of Nick's slow moving Wraith units and keep them as far away from his home objectives as he possibly can.
That's how I feel about Tau-Nick. He's just going to go right in the front.
I know how I feel about that. A very beautiful watch, Captain, I gotta say.
Very amazing and also Aaron, who is a chief mod or mod of the Play on Discord.
Nick's only spent 1 command point pre-game to give the Warlord trait to Prince Uriel, and he's spending another command point here to deep strike one of his Flamer Guard unit. Tack's chosen to combat squad one of his Proteus kill teams. He's facing 5 veterans and 5 Terminators and Teleport Strike. And his Inceptors are in Descent from the Sky. It looks like he's going to try to outmaneuver and outflank and stay away from Nick as much as possible.
I'm in reserve.
This episode is brought to you by VoxLink. VoxLink is the ultimate tabletop gaming community app designed to bring people together. You can check out and book tickets for events nearby, all filtered by game type. Their Game Finder is a great way to find new friends playing the games you like near you. The app itself is free to use. Premium members, however, can run leagues and tournaments with friends, get premium member pricing on all tickets purchased in the app, and benefit from premium member pricing for other hobby partners like Magnet Baron, Baron of Dice, and Dicehead. VoxLink is a fully featured social media setup inside the app, as well as content sections that will include bloggers like Goonhammer and other YouTubers. I personally love the concept of a social media app specifically for games and gamers. I find it awkward to wade through all the other social media noise to find tabletop events near me. With VoxLink, though, I can find exactly what I'm looking for without having to be inundated with stuff I have no interest in. VoxLink is the only social media solution built by gamers for gamers. Make sure to check them out on Kickstarter and throw some support behind them. As always, tell them PlayOn sent you.
All right, to see who goes first, I'd actually like to go second.
I really like to go second as well.
All right.
Second! At least I can get the box.
I missed the box again. You are going first, sir. Good luck.
Fine. Good luck to you. I've got a Contemptor Dreadnought. It's named Tau Nick, so let's see how Tau Nick does against Aeldari Nick.
Nick rolls his Strands of Fate. These are special Eldar dice that will count as a 6. He's got 2 saving throws, 1 hit roll, and 1 to wound roll. Tack using his litanies from his Chaplain. Catechism of Fire succeeds. His Contemptor is going to get +1 to wound, but Litany of Hate does not. For secondaries, Tack draws, bring it down. Tack spends a command point on new orders and refunds this with his Warlord trait, so he still sits at 4, but he draws Battlefield Supremacy instead. Behind enemy lines, and no retreat, no surrender.
These are great secondaries if it was later in the game, but I can use these secondaries a little bit to actually bully Nick and make Nick stay in his own zone and not come out to play, and I get to control now the flow of the game. You're gonna see me move fairly cagey here. I'm not going to overextend, expose myself, and I'm going to need to play the long game. So that is it for the movement phase. I have no psychic phase right now because my psyker is waiting in somewhere in space. So we're gonna go into the shooting phase.
Only thing he has to shoot is the Relic Contemptor. It's in range as Nick has deployed way deep in the back and only 1 Wraithguard dies. Not a great first turn shooting. However, no retreat, no surrender is still ongoing as that completes at the end of Tack's turn should he stay within range of an objective, not fail a morale check, and not fall back. And he has yet to score the other objectives. So that's a pretty quick turn for Tack, and we have no score as we head into next turn 1. Nick draws Tempting Target. He needs to take Tack's Deathwatch Veteran objective. That's the one Tack chooses.
Unfortunately, what that does, which I don't like, is that gives you
possibly
that really
double points if I get it.
Exactly.
It's worth 10 points if I can take this objective away from you.
Yeah.
Capture enemy outpost. He's got to go take Tack's home objective and storm hostile objective. He needs to flip an objective that Tack currently holds.
This secondary draw is quite terrible.
Because of behind enemy lines, Nick's movement, you're gonna need to see him pull back a little bit and not move as much forward. This plays into my hand. I sound really cocky, but that's okay. It's all entertainment.
Both players are playing very elite armies in that their units cost a lot and you need them to do their work and earn their cost back.
I can't take his home objective, I can't take that objective in the corner, and I can't take one away from him. This turn is going to be really tough.
Tack may be cooking in Nick's kitchen a bit here by keeping behind enemy lines, making Nick think that he's going to deep strike into his deployment zone. Psychic phase now, and Nick casts Fateful Divergence to go up to 7 command points. But Quicken fails. He's re-rolling with a command point, he's down to 6, and it succeeds. Those Wraith Blades are going to move up to hold that left side objective and deny Tack hold more in his turn with any luck.
Okay.
All right, moving on to the shooting phase. Don't have a lot of shots, but we're going to start with this Wraith Lord.
Okay.
He's going to fire everything, just his Bright Lance, into this Dreadnought right here.
Into town.
I'm going to use my automatic hit, Strands of Fate,
Okay.
automatic hit Strands of Fate, and my automatic wound Strands of Fate, so that I don't even have to roll.
So it's a Dark Lance, so it's AP 4?
AP -4, D3 plus 3 damage.
Ouch. I have a 5 invulnerable save. So please, please. Oh, that's a 4.
So D3 plus 3 damage does a total of 6 damage. Goes down to 5 because of Dreadnought.
Yes.
And then we're gonna go to this Wraith Lord right here.
You are
Exact same thing.
trying to kill.
I'm definitely trying to kill it. Oh, it's a 1 to hit. I'm gonna use a command point. Going down to 5 to reroll that.
Okay. Here's hoping.
Got it. That's a hit.
3, yep. 5 up. That's a 5. I'm alive.
Oh, just barely.
The Dread goes down to 1 wound, but doesn't die. How many times on this channel have we seen something live on a single wound?
I don't actually know what my plan is turn 2. I've got a lot in reserves. It's going to come down to my secondary draw, and that secondary draw is going to dictate what I do coming out of Teleport Strike.
End of round 1, and Tack scores no retreat, no surrender to make our score 5-0. Nick keeps Storm hostile objective and discards tempting target and capture enemy outpost. Tack's turn 2 and he ticks up to 6 command points, same as Nick, and scores 5 points on primary to make our score 10-0 in his favor. Start of a new battle round, so Nick rolls his Strands of Fate. He's got an advance, a charge, a psychic test, and a saving throw.
I can now discard behind enemy lines. The only reason I kept it was not to score it, but to keep Nick honest and have him stay in his back line. Now that that's gone, I'm actually gonna do something pretty cheeky here. I'm going to spend a command point on New Orders, and I'm gonna flip that for a different secondary.
And that gives him race banners, secure no man's land, and battlefield supremacy for secondaries.
He has managed to outthink me and outmaneuver me into a place where all of my elite, close combat, efficient units that are really slow are on the edges of the board again. Tack, you are a master of the movement phase and have outmaneuvered me here.
The Chaplain's Catechism of Fire succeeds. Contemptor's going to get +1 to wound to the nearest target. Canticle of Hate, that's going to make charges a bit easier. The Watchmaster is going to give full rerolls to the Dreadnought, and Tack slips to Devastator Doctrine. The unique thing about Deathwatch is they get to choose every round which doctrine to be in.
You didn't kill it.
I know, I tried hard.
You know what? Tau Nick is going to be the hero of
He
today.
might be.
So,
I'm okay with Tau Nick being a hero.
poor Tau Nick is going to move onto that center objective. He's only got 1 wound. He's going to die. However, he scores me battlefield supremacy.
Very aggressive play from Tack here. I wonder if he's deep striking and reserve units will even arrive.
So I'm just going to move in such a way where it really denies you the ability to come into my back line here. These Deathwatch veterans are going to be raising a banner on that objective.
Now, do you have any reserves coming in?
I do have reserves coming
Oh,
in.
you are going to take in some of them. Okay.
I'm going to take in some of
Where?
them.
You have so many things in reserves.
I do. I'm being cheeky here. I'm going to drop my Terminators where Nick's Wraith card can't see them. And because of my +2 to charge, I'm still able to make a 9-inch charge here and not get overwatched.
Librarian comes in for some sweet, sweet deny and casting, and now Tack has space magics to affect Nick, and that's it.
So Tax decided not to bring in hardly any of his reserves after I spread out my entire army to try to deny him on my deployment zone. I think Tack has completely outthought me here.
So going into Psychic phase after the movement phase.
Psychic Phase, Premorphic Resonance, and Fortified with Contempt both go onto the Terminators, so they're going to be scary, scary, especially if they get into combat.
That is it for the Psychic phase. Going into the shooting phase, I'm going to take my Bikers here, and they're going to go into the Shining Spears. 4s.
4 3-ups. Oh!
Oh no.
You killed one of the Shining Spears!
They only have 2 wounds?
They only have 2 wounds normally.
You're really slow over there.
I'm so slow.
and there's no objectives over there.
No.
So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try to focus down this side of the table.
I did the exact opposite of what I needed to do. I wanted to focus on one side of your army, on one side of the board, and instead I did exactly what I said not to in my interview, which was spread out. I'm kicking myself here.
Contempt Dreadnought is now going to fire into the Wraith Blades. So hitting on 3s.
All right, so I get 3 up saves because I'm not in any kind of cover. However, I rolled really well.
You did. So you lose 2 total.
I lose 2 total. You have killed 2 of the Wraiths.
Dreadnought is going to be going through the cover. Hurricane Bolters are going to go into the bikes. And then I'm going to take 200 kilo missiles and I'm going to go for that Wraith Lord in the back.
Got it.
And we'll see what happens. So I've got 6 shots into the bikes. Hitting on 3s become 4s because of -1. 4s. Those are elites, right? Yeah.
I fail it.
Good. That's 1 less wound I need to deal with. And then now I've got 200 kilo missiles that are going to go into the Wraith Lord.
Right into here. -1 because of this tree.
Attack using prognosticating volley into the Wraith Lord now. That's going to give him no penalty to hit against Aeldari.
So then I'm hitting on 3s.
Yeah, I'm actually going to use one of my automatic staves from the Strands of Fate to count as one of those 6s, and hopefully maybe I can get another one.
All right.
So save 1 automatically, and oh, it was so close. It was a 5.
Oh.
I'm not going to fish for a 6. How much damage does it do?
Let's hope big. That's not a big. That's opposite of big. That's an Australian 6.
So 1 wound. He has 8 wounds remaining.
Now that I think about it, I actually don't need that objective. So the Gladiator Reaper is going to take all of its shots into the Shining Spears.
Okay. Oh boy. Yeah, just a lot of dice. Okay. All right, fine. You killed the Shining Spears, the brand new unit that I just finished painting without them getting to do anything. That's pretty typical, isn't it? They hit hard, but they die quickly, and they were my fastest unit. And now they're gone, and it's going to be tough to threaten his backfield now.
I'm going to go into the charge phase now.
The Terminators need an 11 to charge, but +2 from the Canticle, so that's a 9. Command reroll takes Tack down to 3 command points, and he fails again.
Terminators failed the charge. However, it's not a big deal. They're protecting my characters. They're staying on that center objective, and they've got defensive buffs up.
And Attack's turn 2 sees him at 25 points. He's got 5 on primary, and he's got 20 secondary points scored. He's scored Battlefield Supremacy, he's scored Secure No Man's Land, and he's raised a banner. 25 to nothing, 3 command points for Tack, 6 for Nick, as we head to Nick's turn 2. Nick scores 5 primary points to make our score 25 to 5 at the start of his turn.
To be honest, the name of the game this turn is no more of this cagey bull beep. There's another word I could put in there, but it's not appropriate for this channel. We're going aggressive. I wanted to from the beginning.
I like how he censored himself in the cutest way possible.
He discards deployed teleport homers to take him down to 6 command points and replaces it with Defend Stronghold. He's also drawn Blood and Guts. He needs to kill 3 units in melee, and that keeps him with Storm Hostile objective as well. Oh, slow wraiths are slow. It's time to drop in some juicy flamers, I think, and wreck some face.
All right, so second phase, I'm going to start with Quicken because I want these guys to move faster because they're out of position. They can't do much right now.
Nick attempted to cast Quicken Restrain, and it fails as it casts on a 7. He's going to re-roll that down to 5 command points remaining, but Tack denies. Nick casts Fateful Divergence successfully, and that takes him back up to 6 command points.
Okay, shooting phase. In the shooting phase, I'm going to use 1 command point, going down to 5.
Wraithguard using Guided Wraith Sight to gain reroll 1s to wound. Nick's now down to 5 command points. He's done 21 wounds and 5 mortals to that vet squad, and they are evaporated. Bye-bye!
The veterans get completely wiped off of that objective, but you know what? I'm okay with it. That objective is sticky, which means I still hold it even though I'm not there. 1, it's a mission rule, and 2, it's the Adeptus Astartes rule.
Moving on. Okay, now we go to another fun one. These ones over here, they're going to do it the same exact thing into these Terminators.
Okay.
2s, rerolling 1s.
I do survive with 3 Terminators. I wasn't expecting that.
Wraith Lord into the Terminators now. Shuriken catapults into the Contemptor.
All right, so the Bright Lance into the Terminators. Hitting on 3s. Oh, it's a 2. It's a 2.
Command point reroll into the Terminator.
4 up.
Tack uses a command point to save that Terminator. Nicks at 4 command points, tacks at 3.
Hits twice. Wounds nothing. The Bright Lance is going to go into the Dreadnought. Shrieking Catapults is also doing on the Dreadnought. Let's see if I can't kill it. Bright Lance into the Dreadnought. It misses. Prince Uriel will let me use it again. The Prince Uriel ability to use the command reroll stratagem twice in a phase that's kind of fun. I like that. To reroll again, I hit this time. I wounded.
Not a 5. See?
And then does it explode? No.
Tau Nick has died to Tau Nick.
But I killed the Dreadnought.
You did.
Let's try to kill some things with close combat, if I can.
Because you have Blood and Guts.
Yeah. But let's try a really long charge here.
A Wraith Lord needs an 11-inch charge. Don't see him making it. Nope, that fails.
The Avatar Kane is going to try to charge into these bikes.
Okay.
So I'm going to use one of my Strands of Fate to give myself an automatic 6 for one of those dice for the charge.
So you need a 4.
So I need a 4 on the other dice.
You can do it. You can do it.
Come
it's
on! No, it's a 1.
Avatar fails his charge with a Strands of Fate roll. Nick has to re-roll both and succeeds. Down to 2 command points left, but here comes the pain.
All right, and then the Wraith Blades are also going to charge in. They don't need much to get in, and they get in as well.
Wraithguard charged the Gladiator Reaper. Tack's going to use Grav Pulse for 1 command point. He's down to 2, and that's going to add 2 inches to the next charge, making it 11, and it doesn't happen.
Those failed charges are going to keep me in this game.
Well, I don't think I did enough, but we'll find out what happens next. Well, we try to murderize this unit over here. Hitting on 2s.
4s.
The Avatar kills that unit down to 2 bikes left. Wow.
Then the Wraith Guards.
The Wraith Blades managed to down 1 more biker.
All right, well, at the end of my turn, I still haven't managed to score any of my secondaries. I hopefully can hold on to Defend Stronghold and score some 5, but I'm really down on points.
Oh, the lone biker succeeds at morale.
I'm up on points. It looks like I'm in control of this game. However, Nick's heavy damage dealers are now all in range of my stuff.
End of turn 2 complete. Defend Stronghold and Blood and Guts are still ongoing for Nick. Storm Hostile objective has yet to occur, so we sit at 25-5 as we head into Tack's turn 3.
I'm finally in a position that I'm going to be able to threaten his next turn. So if Tack doesn't do enough damage in this turn, I'm going to be able to claw back this game in turn 3.
Tack scores 10 points on Primary to take our score to 35-5, and Tack slips into the Tactical Doctrine. Just feels like it fits. Nick's Strands of Fate rolls here, and he's got a charge roll, 2 saving throw rolls, and a hit roll. Those will all count as 6s. Tack pulls grind them down. He's got to kill more units over an entire battle round than Nick does. Tempting target, again, that left side objective is going to be where he's going, and deploy teleport homers. He needs to do an action in the enemy deployment zone.
So I'm going to choose this one way out here. You have to come get it.
Tack really needs to be careful here. He needs to lock this game down now, or Nick 100% will fight his way out of this. Nick has nothing but potentially strong cards left in his deck for secondaries, as he's run through some really crappy ones, and Tack has drawn almost all the good stuff. That 5 points per objective at the end of the game could end up being the decider here.
So Tack has pulled back everything. That's really interesting. I really thought he'd push forward. But now my slow-moving troops are going to have a hard time catching up with him. This could be the deciding choice that decides what happens in this game.
While Nick thinks I'm going to aggressively move forward with my drops, I actually have to move back to my zone. I don't think a Gladiator Reaper tank is enough to take out Wraithguard. I'm going to need to drop in some help.
Inceptors drop in, and they're going to choose to deploy teleport homers. That is a legit power move here.
So I'm going to do Premorphic Resonance from the Librarian. I'm going to try to cast it on the Terminator squad in the middle there.
And it fails. Tack spends a command point to reroll down to 2, and it succeeds. Fortified with Contempt again to give the Terminators a 5-up ignore wounds is successful.
All right. Okay. Going into my shooting phase. We haven't seen what the Deathwatch can do yet, so we might as well go with them first.
It's just like, it's a little bit of everything. That's
a little bit of everything.
Deathwatch is kind of like you put everything in the kitchen sink in it.
4 frag cannons, 2 heavy flamers, 1 hand flamer, 1 Deathwatch bolter, which I'm going to say is going to do Hellfire rounds. Rapid fire 1, so I get 2 shots. How many shots do I get?
To 1s on 4s.
Shooting phase now, Deathwatch Unit of Doom. The Aquila kill team is doing some serious work. Ooh, 3 Wraithguard left versus the Reaper now. Nick using lightning fast reactions. Tack's gonna respond with prognosticating volley, which basically means both spend a command point and the -1 and the +1 cancel.
But I'll put you down to 1 command point, and I'm actually okay with that. 3s. I still fail. Wow, I fail 5.
I'm going to fire with the snipers then and try to kill. So,
Oh!
not a single one.
I can survive this.
You
This
can.
guy's gonna tank all of these shots.
And you were wondering why I put.
Yeah, you put a lot back there.
That's Wraith are.
They're tough. They're tough.
Yep. Chaplain. Let's see if the Chaplain can do it.
Woo! Still -1 hit. Lightning fast reflexes goes on for the whole phase.
No wounds.
Oh yeah.
The Wraith Guard in the middle
Storm
there.
bolters are here. Into these guys.
On 5s. Not a single one. So nothing happened there. This Deathwatch unit is going to load Hellfire rounds and going to fire into your Wraith Blades. Please wound.
Oh no.
Tack's definitely not killing as much as he wants to here. That missed Melt-A-Gun is gonna hurt.
So you've cleverly hidden the Dreadnought so that my Wraith Guard cannot see him, so that you can charge without worrying of Overwatch.
Right.
Very smart.
Which would have been an 11-inch charge. However, because I moved the Chaplain back, +2, and I've got 1 command point left.
You can do it. You can do it. I
Let's see
believe
what
in you.
happens. That is a 10-inch charge.
Nice.
The Terminator's charging into the Wraith Blades, and the Avatar fails. Tack's re-rolling with his last command point. Does not farm it.
7, please.
Oh, there you
There's
go.
a
Come on
10
in.
again. I want all of my Terminators to only fight the
Yeah.
Wraith Guard.
Yeah. I'm going to spend a command point on lightning fast reactions with those Wraith Blades so that you're on -1 to hit against me. So you're back to -1 to hit.
So hitting on 4s with Thunderhammers.
And they go down to AP 1, so on 4s. I have saved 1, 2, 3. However, you have wiped the squad.
Yay.
Well done. Yep, it was good.
Then the Dreadnought is going to punch into Wraith Guard.
The Wraith Guard go down. That's 2 kills.
All right, well then at least I get to hit back with my Avatar of Cain.
Avatar now, and only does 6 wounds, and only kills 1 Terminator. My goodness gracious me, oh my.
I have concerns. I have concerns about all of these Wraith units moving this much closer to my army.
Tack's turn 3 summary. Nick will score Defend Stronghold to gain 5 points to go to 10. Tack has 2 kills for Grind Them Down. He's scored Tempting Target, and he's scored Teleport Homers. 45 points to Nick's 10 as we head to Nick's turn 3. Nick gains 5 points on Primary to go up to 15 to make it 45 to 15 as we start his turn.
I need to weather a storm here, and the storm is getting bigger.
Only 1 secondary to draw is Extend Battle Lines. He should be able to get that fairly easily here.
You're gonna love this. You're gonna love this.
Kill them, and
All
then
right,
just...
the Avatar of Cain is actually moving way over here with his fallback.
2 command points on Feigned Retreat for the Avatar here. He can now fall back and charge and shoot.
He has a weapon that goes through units.
The Avatar of Cain does what now?
The Avatar's range weapon is actually a beam weapon, and as I shoot it, I get to hit every unit in range along the line. And I see 3 characters and a tank.
I can only hope that I've scored enough that you can't catch up. That's my only hope at this point.
Let's try this. I'm going to cast Smite from this guy right here. Smite! Oh, it's an 11.
Oh,
Super Smite!
Wow, Psychic Phase is a Super Smite for 5 mortal wounds.
I pulled the first 2 because they no longer protect the character anyway. And I've got 1 wound left on the back one.
And my other Spirit Zero here is going to try to give me a command point. And I succeed, so I've got 1 more command point. I'm up to 2. Shooting phase. We're gonna shoot all of these pistols into this unit of Terminators. First, I'm gonna fire a grenade, D6 shots, 6 shots!
Ooh.
6 to hit. Oh.
So I've got 2 ups. I fail 2.
Whew.
So he's down to 1 wound remaining.
And then a bunch of pistols. Didn't get any.
Let's see if I can make that. I can.
All right, so I'm actually gonna go with the Avatar of Cain now because he got this really cool ability. He basically takes his massive blade and goes like this, and it makes a massive wave of fire go in a line and hit all the guys in a row. So I pick a target within 12 inches.
Yep.
So that's gonna be the big tank.
Yep.
And then every unit it passes over. So I can pass over your Chaplain, your Librarian, your Watchmaster, and then hit. This is the time to use the Strand of Fate dice to automatically hit.
Okay.
So I'm gonna use that to automatically hit. All right, let's start in order as it goes down the line. Into your Chaplain. Does it wound? It's strength 12.
On 2s.
It's a wound.
The Chaplain has a 4-up invuln.
Nice.
So this is my chance at
Saving his life. Yeah.
He saves his life.
Does the Librarian die? The Librarian gets hit and wounded.
5-up invuln. Nope, that's a 4.
Oh,
so.
it takes D6 plus 2 damage. 5, 6, 7 damage.
So that is a dead Librarian.
And then against the Watchmaster, it also wounds him.
I've made 2 4-ups straight.
You can do it.
Do I still
You can
have
do it.
another one in me?
Come on, Jack. Oh, do you want to reroll it?
I can't lose my Watchmaster. So that is a reroll.
Yes!
I
Good
make
job,
it.
Tag.
I make it. Do I get my command point back? Nope.
There you go.
So I'm up.
All right, and against the repulsor
Gladiator.
tank, it's a wound against the tank.
Nothing I can do about it.
All right, D6 plus 2 damage against the tank. It takes 3, 4, 5 damage.
5 damage. So you did 5. So it has 7 wounds remaining. There is some sort of Imperial blessing. The Omnicide is watching. The Emperor of Mankind is watching. That Watchmaster. I have not rolled this many 4-up invulnerable saves ever in my life. So
I'm gonna split fire.
Nick's splitting fire, and holy of holies, I actually agree. He can wipe those Terminators as long as he doesn't make all his saves.
So 3 flamers of the Terminators. Rerolling 1s.
The Terminator on a 4-up. I make both.
Ooh.
Terminator on a 4-up. I make both.
Whoa! Don't do this, Tack. Don't do this to me.
I make
No,
both.
Tack! Don't do this to me. I need these guys dead.
I make one more.
Come on, Tack. Come on.
So now I have the Feel No Pain. He's alive with 1. And then 5 up.
Holy crap! What the heck? Check his dice!
So I didn't even kill 1.
No.
Well, that was annoying, Tack. Well, the run remaining into the eliminators there
Yep.
gives me 2 shots.
Okay. On 2s.
Wound them both.
Okay. Nope.
No.
So that eliminator is dead.
This Wraithlord right here is gonna fire everything into these Terminators. Give me some 1s.
Nope.
Ignore damage.
Nope. That's another one.
Finally killed 1.
Finally kill this one here.
And then the Bright Lance, can it do it? It hits. Does a wound.
5-up invuln.
He's very dead. Almost.
The Deathwatch are falling apart.
All right, and we're gonna do this Lord right here, and he's gonna fire everything into your Watchmaster. Bright Lance into the tank. Bright Lance hits and wounds. -4.
-4 goes right through.
D3 plus 3. Does a total 6 damage.
Okay. The tank is down to 1 wound.
Shuriken.
Wow! The Gladiator Reaper goes down.
So charge phase. I'm gonna charge these Corsairs into your 1 wound bike.
Yep.
Corsairs charge into that 1 wound biker. Avatar into Takeshi's castle with all those dead characters. I mean, Takahiro's castle. I mean, and woof, the Wraithguard almost whiffed.
Let's fight. I need to kill 1, 2, 3 things in combat to get blood and guts. Let's go with the Corsairs. You can't interrupt.
That is 1 dead biker. That's a kill for Nick.
That's
Wraith
you.
Blades into the Inceptors.
Okay.
Nick spending a command point on Guided Wraith Sight here. That's going to reroll 1s to wound, and the Inceptors are gone.
They're really beautifully painted. I'm sorry that you didn't get to see them shoot.
But they did score a bunch of points.
They scored points.
All right, and then the Avatar of Cain into your Chaplain.
Okay. Which profile this time?
I'm gonna do the strike because I want to do the strike every single time. And then 2s to wound. I'm gonna use my last command point.
Really?
To ensure that this wounds you. I want him dead.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Roll high. Roll high. No, he's already dead.
He's dead. All right, so turn 3 was a big turn for me. I scored a lot of points. Turn 4 has got to be just as good.
Nick has scored every single secondary this turn and denied tax grind them down. Suddenly we're in a game, folks. End of turn 3, 45 to 30 in favor of tack. This is a tight one.
Heading into turn 4, I'm quickly losing assets. So I really have to think about maximizing what units are doing what and focusing on points.
Tack scores 5 points on primary to take us up to 50 to 30 in his favor. Nick's Strands of Fate rolls 2 saves, a charge, and a hit roll. Those saves are super strong, and Tack has to be mindful of making him spend those automatic 6s to save. Tack draws Capture Enemy Outpost. He needs to take Nick's home objective. No prisoners. He needs to do 30 wounds to Nick's army. And Storm Hostile objective. Flip an objective Nick holds. Those Vanguard vets move up to pop Nick's Corsairs off that objective. That should score him that secondary, as Corsairs aren't tough. Tack's trying to remove the Avatar from his deployment zone. This has to happen now, or Tack is probably toast.
But is it for moving? Shooting. The Flamer and then the Hurricane Bolters are all going to go into the Avatar of King.
All right. That is a Warhammer move, if ever there was a Warhammer move. Let's fire a bunch of explosive shells into a big monster. T8.
Nope.
Doesn't matter. Save it.
The Watchmaster is going to Hellfire round into the Avatar. Hitting on 2s. Hellfire round. You saved it?
I saved it.
Yep. Then I'm going to load Hellfire rounds into the Corsairs.
I saved 2 of them.
Nice.
Just killed 1.
I'm going to charge the Dreadnought into the Avatar.
Ironclad into the Avatar. Veterans charge the Corsairs.
Don't have any interrupts, so I'm going to go there first with the Veterans.
I got 2. They're all dead. Well done.
As expected, the Vanguard vets wipe the Corsairs and steal that objective from Nick.
All right, Dreadnought on Avatar action. Okay, this Dreadnought has a chance to do a lot of damage here if you roll well.
If I roll well.
So there's the trick. Roll well. Okay, 4 up invulnerable saves. Each one that goes through does a lot of damage.
I hate to do this. This is why I hate playing Eldar. Make 2 of those go away.
I'm gonna actually use 2 of my Strands of Fate dice to automatically pass 2 of them.
Yep.
So I only have 2 rolls to make. Thanks for doing that. That was a kind of move. And I make 1 and 1 goes through.
Yep, so 2d3 damage. So that is 4 damage.
I half the damage, unfortunately. It was down to 2 damage. Yep. I'm down to 12 wounds on the Avatar of Cade. But now I'm going to hit you back.
Yep.
Avatar slaps back into the Dreadnought, piercing strikes here, and annihilates the Dreadnought. Whew, what a turn. Tack's going to discard Capture Enemy Outpost and no prisoners. He scores Stormed Hostile objective, sits at a command point, and 55 to 30 is our point score.
I can't just go on autopilot, and I have to make sure I play to the best of my ability to maximize my points, because Tack is still up on points on me.
Nick scores 10 points on primary to take us to 55 to 40 in Tack's favor, and both players have 2 command points. Nick's drawn Investigate Sites. He needs to do an action in the mid-table. If it's done with a unit less than 5, it's only going to be worth 2 to him, though, so that's an interesting choice. Raise Banner. Any infantry unit can do that to score 5 points on a no man's land objective. And no retreat, no surrender. Don't fall back, don't fail morale, and don't leave an objective. Corsairs move up and raise a banner. Nick's Wraithorn's got to stay put to score, so that's going to help Tack a lot, keeping him out of his face. Prince Uriel investigates sites. That's only going to give him 2, but as Uriel really doesn't buff anybody, it's not a big deal losing his auras.
Getting myself a command point. 6, 7, 8. It goes off. I'm up to 3 command points. Quicken! And it goes off, but it perils.
Oh, the Spirit Seer takes 3 mortals from a peril, and it succeeds.
Shooting phase. Bright Lance into the Watch Captain.
Okay.
That's a hit. That's a wound.
Okay. So this will kill me unless I roll my Iron Halo.
You got this.
I got it.
There you go. Bright Lance into Watch Captain.
Yep.
Oh! Avatar of Cain is going to take his sword and try to send a wall of fire through those guys down there. Whoosh! It hits. It wounds.
A Lamenter died first. Thank you, Nicholas Livingston Smith.
Was that the last Lamenter? Oh man, Nick, what are you doing?
Shooting is done, and let's charge you. My avatar is gonna charge those guys over there.
He spends a command point on Overwatch, gotta knock that avatar down a peg somehow.
Save it.
Yep. 2 heavy flamers.
Flamers.
I got.
You can't damage me with flame. I'm literally made of flame.
You just said your flame doesn't glow, so I don't know what kind of flame it is. So
I've got 9 wounds remaining on that avatar. Charge me in there, please. And I'm gonna do a sweep attack. Oh no, I dropped so many.
You dropped a lot.
Ooh, Tack really had to sort how to take those saves. That was really fun to watch and incredibly complex. It could definitely take some time, but as any Deathwatch player knows, that's how you gotta do it. Talk about an epic hold against foul Xenos though. Tack holds on.
But the problem is, Tak is using every trick in the book to stay in this game.
Here's the funny thing, Nick. I pulled myself out of combat.
Oh.
You can pull yourself into combat
With a consolidate.
with a consolidate, but you leave the objective.
No, I'm okay sitting there. You can come get me if you want.
This could be huge. End of round 4, and this is one tight game. The end of game objective scoring yet again may be the difference. Tak needs objectives he can score, and Nick needs to keep units on objectives. 55 to 47 in favor of Tak as we head to Tak's turn 5. Up to 60 now to 47 for Tak. Nick's Strands of Fate is an advance roll, 2 to hit rolls, and a wound roll. And he spends a command point on new orders. He's going to have Assassinate, kill a character for 5, that's big. Extend battle lines. He needs to hold his home and more in No Man's Land, and overwhelming firepower, kill 3 units in shooting. So Tak's already scored extend battle lines. That and an Assassinate will max his secondary points for the rest of the game.
So I'm going to load Hellfire rounds into him because no matter what I do, I hit your invuln. Get 2.
All right, on 4-ups. Oh, it fails!
Command point to reroll, and it fails. That's a dead Spirit Sayer. Assassinate for Tak.
Because I max at 2, so I don't need overwhelming firepower. Then everything from here is going to fire into the Avatar of King.
Tried to down the Avatar to save his home objective, and he only managed to take off a wound.
Got it.
Yep.
I saved it again.
Okay, then we are going to charges.
Charge phase now, Avatar being jumped, Wraithgar are being targeted, and the Watchmaster is getting greedy. Charging into both of those targets. I'm not sure about that, but if Tak clears him off, that's a big, big win for him.
All right, let's fight.
You know what, we'll do that one first because that one's the most important.
All right, goes AP 1. I say 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 1.
Okay.
So down to 1 wound with this guy over here.
Oh boy, those Wraithguard are super tanky.
Next, I will go with the Watch Captain to see what I can do to those 2 characters in the middle.
All right, how are you gonna split up the attacks?
3 into Yandon and 2 into the other character, I think.
Split fire to victory.
Leads to only 1.
Spirit Seer down to 1 wound. Prince Uriel down to 2 wounds, but they both stay up. Oh no!
You got really close.
Yep.
Avatar gets hit hard here, down to 6 wounds, but doesn't die.
You know what? I'm gonna do the strike because I want to do the strike.
Okay.
I only get 6 attacks now.
The Hand of Cain slaps back, and Tak spends a command point. 3 models die, but he's still holding on.
Prince Uriel is gonna fight you right here. See if you can kill the Watch Captain. Hitting on 2s. On 3s, wounding. I'm gonna actually command point reroll one of these.
Okay.
See if I can get another wound. Oh, it's a 2! Only 1 wound.
Iron Halo, I make it.
And then the Spirit Seer tries to hit you with 2 attacks. Hits you twice.
And I'm okay on there too.
Well, fine.
The veterans lose 2 to those Wraithguard, but he's forced Nick's hand here big time. What an absolute barn burner here, folks. Can Tak hold on and actually pull this game out?
Can a Watchmaster survive? If it does, there's a chance I can win this game.
He's pulled area denial, so he needs to kill the Watchmaster to get him out of the center. He's got Bring It Down. That's actually the Watchmaster as well. And he scored Battlefield Supremacy, which means if he kills the Watchmaster, you guessed it, folks, this could be the game.
This game is that close that if I kill it, I won this game. If I don't, it could even be a tie.
1 command point on Feigned Retreat to fall back and shoot at those Wraithguard.
And also, Aaron, if you're watching this, if your Watchmaster lives, I think your Watchmaster wins me this game.
Can the Watchmaster survive? That's all it comes down to. Psychic phase. Let's smite ya.
Okay.
You take one mortal wound.
Okay, so he's down to 5.
And then 4 D-Scythe Flamers into those guys. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Oh my Lanta! The Wraith Guard have absolutely 6th letter of the alphabet stuff up.
I can't shoot into it, but we're gonna charge it with everything.
Now he's sent his entire army against it, so yeah.
Wraith Lords are gonna attack you on
winning with
3s.
And how much damage does he do?
D3 plus 3 damage each.
Okay. Yeah. So I need to make
You need to make both of these. 4-ups. 4-ups for days.
I make 1.
Do you want to command point it?
Yep.
All right, command point reroll, see if you save it.
And if he lives, then he needs to live through everything else.
Yep.
Nope.
Ceremoniously
on a 1.
Oh, he dies. He's squished by everybody. And that's gonna cinch it for me. Victory for the Aeldari over the Deathwatch.
That maxes his secondary. He maxes primary for holding everything at the end of the game. That takes Nick to 45, 45 plus 10, 100 points, and 100 to 85 in favor of Nick and the Iandan Corsairs. What an absolute slobber knocker, knockdown, drag out, barn burner of a game. What a showcase of a beautiful army painted by a patron and painted by Nick, and another beautiful army completely painted and built by Patreons. And I gotta say, the winner here might have been you, but it's definitely us. We absolutely love everything that you folks do for us and support us on our channel. We can't thank you enough, and we're so happy to be able to bring you such an incredibly tight and well-played game. Great job, Tack. Way to pilot an army that you literally know next to nothing about, and Nick, how to step up for the Corsairs. Both players made some interesting choices during that game, really came down to the wire and end game scoring. If you folks remember back in turn 1, turn 2, Nick had barely scored a thing, but here we are at the end, 185 in his favor. And as always, on behalf of everyone here at Play On, this is JT McDowell saying, until the next time you see us in the far-flung future of a grimdark universe, play on!
Thank you to everyone that submitted models to the community army. It was beautiful to see it on the table.
It was a hell of a game, Nick. I'd love to say I will get you next time, but I think we both need a bit of a break after this one.
A few key dice rolls could have changed this game dramatically.
My brain hurts.